Call of Duty World War II coming to a store near you. Hey you guys, what's going on? Today, let's talk a little bit about our favorite franchise, Call of Duty. So, they have come out, well, not really, it's been leaked that the next Call of Duty is going to be a World War II inspired Call of Duty game. So much so that the title might even be Call of Duty World War II. Now, we don't know if that's just a silly rumor that was made up, fake news, or if it's actually a real leak. It kind of looks pretty legit, so I'm going to go with that for now. But obviously, take everything with a grain of salt, people. Now, basically, I want to talk about why this is a mistake, in my opinion. I mean, there's some cool things about it that could turn out cool, but in general, I think this is not the right direction to go. And also, what alternative ideas, what the future holds for Call of Duty, and where I think it should go so that I start giving a shit about the franchise again. So before we get into that and kind of my ideas on where I want to take or where I would like to see Call of Duty go or try new things in the future, let's just talk about World War II for a second, at least in relevance to Call of Duty. So really, the reasons I think this is a mistake is one, I mean, you're just retreading Call of Duty ground. Like, Call of Duty has already done this before. Granted, it was, I guess, over a decade ago. Like, been a while. It's been a while, okay? But still, we've been there. Now, there are cool things they could do with this, especially if they focus on the story. I mean, there's a lot of Hitler assassination attempts. I'm sure there's a lot of battles and stuff that aren't very well known, very common, that aren't taught. Everyone knows D-Day and stuff like that. But there's probably a shit ton of other interesting events that went down in that time span between 39 and 45. So maybe there's some cool storytelling there. We'll see. But knowing Call of Duty, I don't think the gameplay is going to change too much. I don't think any interesting mechanics that would be relevant to like World War II technology are going to be integrated. Because I think Battlefield 1 really nailed it and hit it out of the park when it came to recreating World War I, because that's something that is very restrictive in terms of weapons, but they still made it really fun and really cool in terms of mechanics and everything. And since Call of Duty, just no matter what game it is, it's always the same thing, basically. I don't know if they're going to change much up or if it's just going to feel exactly like, Infinite Warfare, but in a World War II skin. And in general, it just feels uninspired. It's like, Battlefield did World War I, so let's do World War II. Even though we all probably know the next Battlefield game is going to be Battlefield 2 or something like that. It's not going to have that name because that's already a name. But they're probably going to do World War II, and it'll probably be a lot better. So I don't know if this is the right path for Call of Duty to take, because I don't think Call of Duty wants to compete directly with Battlefield and be directly compared to Battlefield in that sense. I mean, they are two different types of games, but if you're treading the exact same grounds with both games, there's going to be stark comparisons made. So for me, unless the storytelling is fantastic and the game really has good writers and very interesting plot or multiple plots, unless it has that, I'm probably going to skip it because, I mean, who knows? I have to see the gameplay, but so far, those are my initial thoughts just on the leak of it, but we'll know a lot more come E3, I suppose. Now, what are some alternative ideas? Where do I think the franchise could go? Well, the first one is probably the least inspired one, but I think it would still be a really cool look. And that would be World War III, but not some futuristic, 500 years away from now, but like, what would World War III look like if it happened tomorrow or like within the next 5 years or so? I think that would be really cool to explore, especially since there's so many, current events happening right now that could inspire like a fictional World War III story. Hell, they could even start World War III in real life, but there's so many ideas to explore that are happening right now. And not to mention in the near future, resource shortages, the beginning of a space race. And again, I don't want like a Halo Call of Duty in space, but if there's competition for rare resources and minerals on the moon, like H3O and stuff like that. And we all know China is upping their space program and everything. So it'd be interesting to just make a fictional World War III scenario out of something like that, where most of it is boots on the ground, but maybe there's a cool fucking end mission that's like on the moon or some shit, Like, I'm still okay with that. But with water being a resource that's becoming scarce in many places around the world, if you just extrapolate that in the next 10 years or so, I mean, that could cause issues. There's so many things right now in our geopolitical sphere that could go wrong. So it'd be cool to explore those ideas. Next, this one I think would be the most fun idea to explore, and that would be like a Call of Duty conspiracies franchise. There's just so much shit in this that you could do. Obviously, like something like a 9/11 like conspiracy of an inside job would be too sensitive of a subject matter for a Call of Duty game. But like things like that, things like the Kennedy assassinations are fictionalized versions of that. But then aside from that, like there's those crazy conspiracies with the Illuminati and the New World Order and all those Denver airport murals showing like the government taking in people, and there's that whole conspiracy of there being like underground buildings and tunnels made for when the New World Order starts and they're gonna put all the people there. There's some crazy shit, right? So it'd be cool to have a Call of Duty game that's where the story and everything is based off of some of these crazy conspiracies. That would be a really fun idea to explore, because those would just be fun as hell to think about, and if they're written intelligently, it'd just be a really cool plot. Another one I think that'd be cool is alternate histories. I mean, sure, we've treaded World War One, we've treaded on World War Two, we've done the Cold War, we've done Vietnam, all that kind of stuff. But it'd be cool to also look like, oh, what if we lost these wars? What would it look like, and what would we have to do to make it kind of right again in our timeline, you know? That's a topic that's also been treaded on. You know, Wolfenstein's done it, and I don't want to say a lot of other games, but there are other games that have done that as well. But it'd be cool with the huge production that Call of Duty has and their epic fucking cutscenes and set pieces and stuff. It'd be cool to kind of relive like an alternate history version of, you know, obviously World War II would be one of the most interesting ones, but even the Cold War and all of these other things. So just within that, there's another cool kind of idea that you could explore plot-wise in a Call of Duty game that I think we're missing out on. And then one big one I was thinking about is, it's been a long time since I've played a proper like Tom Clancy game, like Rainbow Six game. I'm not talking about like just the multiplayer stuff. I'm talking about the original Rainbow Six games. It's also been a long time since there was like a really cool, good Bond game. So it'd be cool to have a Call of Duty that is like on an off year, kind of like how Forza has Forza Motorsports and Forza Horizon, which are two kind of completely different games. It would be cool if Call of Duty on one of its 3 years had like a stealth Call of Duty that was very like Tom Clancy-esque. Obviously, like on the multiplayer side, there'd still be like the normal action, fast-paced multiplayer, maybe with like an extra stealth mode or something. But it'd be cool to have a campaign that was like a Tom Clancy, like hardcore stealth campaign. Obviously, maybe with options to not just do stealth and to just go guns blazing, but it'd be cool to have deep mechanics and stealth like that. Because again, with the production quality of a Call of Duty game, that would be really cool to see how they put a twist on that. You know, stealth can be done in horrible ways or can be done in really fun ways, and that all depends on level design and mechanics. And I think Call of Duty has proven that they've had some cool stealth ideas like peppered throughout the games, and it'd be cool if they made a game that was just based on that. Again, not every game, but like one out of the three. You know, because we have 3 Call of Duty developers now. It'd be nice if one of them did something other than your fucking shoot 'em up every single year. So that would be something I think is cool. Anyways, guys, what do you think? Where do you think Call of Duty should go from here? Do you also like the fact that Call of Duty is going into World War II again, or is that something that you do not like? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to know where you think Call of Duty should go, if you think Call of Duty should go at all, because to me, it seems like the franchise needs a little break, but hey, as long as it keeps selling, why not make more, right? Anyways, guys, I'll talk to you next time.